Come watch as we turn paper into a glowing 3D pumpkin lanyard. Download the SVG and craft along. Hi y'all, and welcome to Daily Dose of DIY. My name is Chris, your guide to making amazing Cricut crafts. And today I have an amazing craft for you that's perfect for all your fall decor. Come along and let's make a 3D pumpkin lantern together. To make the 3D pumpkin lantern, you're going to need 2 sheets of orange 12 by 12 cardstock or you can use any other color you want your pumpkin to be. You're going to need scrap brown and a scrap sheet of green. I use Encore textured cardstock. It is specifically made for cutting machines and it cuts really well, so I will link you that in the description below. Optional, you can also use a vellum paper. The cutouts for the vellum paper are included in the SVG file, and if you're going to use that, you'll need a glue pen or a fine tip pen. Here is a pumpkin made without the vellum paper. I think it adds more and hides your lights if you add the vellum paper, but totally up to you. You can also add lights to your lantern. Either an LED tea light or fairy lights will work. Let's jump in and grab the SVG and get this cut. You will find the link to get the free SVGs in the video description or the very first pinned comment. Follow that link and then simply click Get My Free SVGs. Fill out your first name and email address and we will send those right over to you. Once you're in the library, you're free to use and download any SVG you like. For this craft, you'll find the SVG under P for pumpkin lantern, and once you click the download button, the download will automatically happen. Once you have that SVG downloaded, head into Cricut Design Space, click Upload Image, head to your Downloads folder and locate the file called Pumpkin Lantern 3D. Drag and drop that into Design Space, and then we're going to click Continue and then click Upload. Once it's on the canvas, there's nothing you need to do. You can go ahead and click the Make It button. If you don't want to cut the vellum sheets, that is here in gray, you can click the Ungroup button, click anywhere on the canvas, and then select those and hit Delete on your keyboard. Once you are ready, go ahead and click the Make It button. I'm not going to save this project because I didn't make any changes. On the matte screen, you'll just want to check where everything is. I'm using 8.5 by 11 vellum paper, so I'm going to need to move this fella down and make a note to put my 8.5 by 11 horizontally. You also may want to check the mats that have scrap paper just to make sure your paper is large enough to fit what will need cut. And then once you're done checking everything out, be sure to select mat 1 again and then click the Continue button. If you have a Cricut with a dial, be sure to set your dial to custom so you can come in and browse all materials. And then I'm just going to type in the vellum, hit enter. We're going to select that since it's a mat 1 and then done. I have my vellum paper loaded up on a green cut mat going horizontally, so I'm just going to insert this into my Cricut Maker. You can cut this project on most any cutting machine, Cricut Explore, any Explore series, any Maker series, your Joy Extra, or Silhouette, Brother Scan and Cut, any of those. After it's finished cutting, hit your unload button and be sure to flip your mat over and peel your paper off of the mat. It just helps keep it from curling and tearing. Don't fold your mat in half though, or you'll crack your mat. You just gently peel it back. Our next color up is brown, so I'm going to get that loaded and I'll show you how to change your settings in Design Space as well. Over on the right, click that down arrow so we can see the list of materials again. I recommend cutting the lantern panels out of cardstock for intricate cuts. Technically, you don't need to cut this out of cardstock for intricate cuts, the brown layer, but I'm going to go ahead and select that so I don't have to keep going back and forth. It will still cut well. After all of your pieces are cut, separate them out. So I have my frame pieces here, here's the stem and leaves, and then here's our panels and vellum paper. And I'm going to glue the vellum paper to the back of the panel. So I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to use a glue pen so we don't get too much glue and we can get all these fine points. Just go around all the outside. There's a little piece here that needs pulled out. Got it. Go around all the outside of the panel and then just come back in and hit some leaves. You don't need to hit all of them, but you want to get some of them so they stick to that vellum paper. Then I'm going to take a vellum panel and just smooth it down in place. So here's an idea of what it's going to look like with that vellum. It really, compared to not, it really helps filter the light, and I think it just makes it more beautiful. You want to do this with all 6 pieces. I wanted to jump in real quick and tell you about a special we have on our Paper Crafters Club. Now, this club is where you can download loads of premium paper craft SVG files on demand, and they include printable instructions so you know how to put them together. The SVG files include things that are great for gift giving. My favorite memories are crafting with my grandma and giving them as gifts for birthdays, holidays, anything special. And that is why I created this club. And for a limited time, when you join the Paper Crafters Club for 3 months or longer, I will send you some happy mail with my favorite glue to make these paper crafts, along with a printout that will teach you how to properly glue your craft so it doesn't look like a first grader did it, and which glues to use when. This Happy Meal package has a retail value of over $20, and with it only costing $25 for 3 months to the Paper Crafters Club and all of these SVG files you can download, it's really a no-brainer. Follow the link in the description or the first comment below for instant access. I can't wait to craft with you. Once your panels are glued on, there are actually 2 different designs for your panels. So you want to stack them up alternating so that when we put it together, we get them in the correct order. Then I'm going to set these aside and allow them to finish drying, and we will add our stem and leaves pieces to our pumpkin. I'm going to go ahead and just use my glue pen for that as well. Once you get the first side done, flip it over and do the other side. Now we can go ahead and assemble the frame. We're going to start with this piece, and then you want the frame piece that has a cutout, this little slit on both the top and the bottom on both sides, and we're going to insert this top slit into this slit in the pumpkin here. Just slide it right on in. And then at the bottom, we're going to do the same. Then we'll take this third piece and same concept. We're just going to insert, let me make sure I got the top. The top will be rounded. The top part into the slit on the top. And then the bottom into the slit on the bottom. Once they're locked in place, it will look something like this. Now we're going to add these discs that will help keep this in place and allow us to add the panels. So all around your disc, you'll see these little slits on the side, and they match up with these slits on each side of the frame. So let's get one inserted, locked into place, and then you can go to the very next one. Sometimes it's easier to do the opposites, so you might have to hold in place, but let's go to the very next one and lock that in and just go around locking them into place. Once you get to the opposite side, you may have to bend a little bit. That is fine. Just be careful not to pull on those tabs too much or they will tear. And then you also, like I have here, you might have to pop some that you already did back into place. So it will look like that. And once your top is done, we're going to do the exact same thing on the bottom. There we go. They're all locked in and it's a good tight fit. Oh, we lost one at the top. Let me stick him back in place. Okay. Now we can add our panels. So here's how our pumpkin is looking now. And we have our panels in alternating order. And you'll notice on these there are little tabs, and that's going to help hold it into place. They slide in fairly easily though. So you take the top part and slide it into the top of the pumpkin, and it will slide in and pretty much lock into place. These aren't too tight, but it will help keep them there. Then fold your panel out and slide the tab into the bottom part until it clicks into place. And then you just repeat this all the way around your pumpkin. When you get to the last tab, I'm going to go ahead and get the bottom one in. And then before you put in the top, you can add your lights. For this one, I'm going to add fairy lights. So I'm going to pull my tab and turn them on. And I'm going to place him in the pumpkin. And then I'll put the top tab into place. How cute is this pumpkin? Let's turn the lights off and take a look. Thank you so much for crafting with me today and making these amazing 3D pumpkin lanterns. I cannot wait to see what you make. Don't forget to grab your free SVG file and have fun crafting. God bless.